Okay. Now I'm going to, on the face of the part, create a sketch of a circle. Dimension that. Very important that this is dimensioned for its size. I'm going to make a 1-inch diameter circle and create a feature, an extruded cut through all. And I'll just name this bore. In fact, I'll just name this base feature. And I didn't bother saving the sketches right now, but for renaming the sketches, I'm going to plus you. Save this part file in that folder, but I'm going to create a subfolder, a new folder, and I'm going to name this top-down demo. And this part I will name block. Not really a very imaginative name, but just the same. Now I'm going to actually build a pin part that will fit into this hole. And in order to do that and have it follow along with that hole diameter, what I need to do is place this part into an assembly first. So I'm going to create a new assembly file. And I'm going to place that block part. Remember, if I want to put it right on origin of the assembly, I just go up here and click the green check mark. And now the part origin is the same place as the assembly origin. We're now looking at a file called assemb1, and I'm going to go ahead and save that assembly in the same location in top-down demo, and I'm going to name it block and pin. Save. So it looks like I've got just the block part, looks the same as that block file. But now let me go back, file vertically, and show you that there's my block part. I'm going to go ahead and close that. This is actually an assembly called block and pin, and it has the block part created. Now if I were doing it bottom up, I'd go out, go to File, and New, and create another part called pin, and I'd make it whatever diameter I needed for it to fit into that bore, and I'd come in and create mates, create an assembly. But I want this part to follow along with that diameter. So I need to tell it from the assembly level, from the top level, what diameter it needs to be. The command that I'm looking for here can be found in that assembly toolbar, insert components. So I click on the black arrow here and choose new part. Or my drag down menu, insert component and new part. Notice that if I'm putting a component, just another part in the assembly, if I choose existing, that means I've built it bottom up. If I choose new part, that means I'm building it from the assembly level. When I select that new part, if your computer is set up to prompt you to look for templates, it'll give you this interface here. It might happen to be set up that way. I can pick PC part inch. I don't believe your computers out there will be set up for that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But for right now, I just pick that template, I click OK. And the next thing it does is really not very obvious at all. We get this little green check mark next to our cursor. If you look at the lower left corner of the screen, you see the words or the sentence. Select the face or plane on which to position the new part. You may or may not have noticed that there's something that's shown up in the Feature Manager design tree called Part 3. And it has a little arrow and block and pin. If I hit the plus sign next to that, it has no features, has nothing to it yet. But we're inserting a new component from that assembly, and basically what it wants to know is where do you want me to sketch to create this new part? I need a flat 2D plane on which to sketch. So I'm just going to pick the front face of this block part. Notice that when I move in towards the part, it goes from a green check mark to now showing me symbols for face or plane. As I pick this, watch what happens to the block part in terms of its coloring. It has now turned transparent. We have now seen a sketch icon show up here. We are now creating a sketch, and I expanded this part 3 over here